No bull. No Scotty, no Pippen, no Michael, no Jordan, no bull. No bull. No bull. Only real shit in my town. Not if fake niggas ain't round. No bull. No bull. Yeah. No bull.
Hi, this is Chuck Swirsky, and you're listening to No Bull AUK, Chicago Bulls podcast.
What's happening, people? Welcome back to another episode of No Bull, a UK Chicago Bulls podcast. If you're watching, you'll see who I'm with today. You've probably seen it on the socials. We were hoping to record this Monday, but there was a few issues, so we put it forward to today. Put it back to today, should I say. I am so excited for this. This is someone that I really genuinely look up to. So this is going to be another one of those episodes where it sounds like I'm blowing smoke all the whole way through.
No, because I don't even care.
I got
to jump in right here because I'm excited to be on this show because this is someone who's been supporting me from day one, from before I was the person you see today, who's been supporting me from the first time he must have ever saw one of my videos. So it's all love. It's an honor to be here. And I got to show the love right back to a real one.
There he is. Mr. Mo Mooncey, aka the Hoop Genius. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
This is something obviously we tried to get in for a while, so it's amazing to finally get it over the line and get it recording.
Yeah, man. Schedule's busier than the 82 they play in the NBA.
I appreciate that, man. Yours and mine both. Mine's not quite as busy as yours, but I get it. But if you're watching on screen, don't panic, I'm not wearing a Celtics jersey. It is
I got excited for a sec.
Patrick's Day Bulls D-Rose jersey, and my man Mo is wearing a Bulls jersey himself. Not sure who's on the back yet, so let's go.
Can you guess?
Do you know, I don't think it's an MJ, because that'd be too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go, I don't think it's a Pippen. I think that's too obvious. I want it to be a Rodman, but I reckon it's Tony Kukoc.
Okay, first of all, it's not Tony Kukoc. The answer, when you realize what jersey I'm wearing, is so obviously in your face that you will realize you should have thought this. It's number 10.
BJ Armstrong, of course.
Of course, the one and only.
Of course.
But, having said that, can you see my T-shirt that's here? I do have a Dennis Rodman T-shirt underneath.
I have that very T-shirt.
Yeah, shout out to Mitchell and Ness, the T-shirt and the jersey.
I believe it was DeMar DeRozan had the white version on one of the pre-games recently as well. It's an awesome T-shirt. Awesome T-shirt.
Yes, sir.
So BJ Armstrong, of course. Let's start there. Let's just start straight in with BJ Armstrong. If you don't already know, I don't know where you've been, but Mo records a daily podcast with the legend that is BJ Armstrong. How surreal was that? I know obviously you work with BJ with Sky Sports and stuff, but to get that, and it's the Hoop Genius podcast. You're not a guest. It's not the BJ Armstrong podcast. It's the Hoop Genius podcast. He's just a guest.
He puts the genius into the show, though. Let's be honest. He puts the genius into the show. Like, to have someone like that on my show every day. It's not even my show. It's our show now. We share it. You know, we do it all every day. It doesn't even feel real right now. It's surreal to me because, you know, growing up, you see these heroes on your TV and they're like superheroes, right? And now to know that I was just texting him right now before the show began. Like, to have that is crazy because I never thought that I would get to that point. And I don't think there's many people in this world, like maybe the kid that does the show with JJ Redick and the kid that does the show with Patrick Beverly, but no one else in the world really talks to an NBA legend on their show every week. But mine isn't just every week. Mine's every day.
Every day.
Which I don't think anyone is doing. Like, I've got to give him all the credit, though, because it's every day is a grind. And when you're like me, this is what I do. You have to grind it. But for him, 3-time NBA champion, NBA agent, businessman, he doesn't need to do it. He does it out of his love for the game. And that's why he has my full respect in the world, because he doesn't need to do it every day. I need to do it every day. And he, from the kindness of his heart, blesses me with the wisdom and the time every single day. So it's crazy.
Well, I remember going way, way back now. You were on an episode, I believe it was with the Double Clutch guys, a long, long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm going way, way, way back.
Yeah.
And you were talking about your journey and stuff, and it was just like, back then, you were still you've come so far since then. But I remember messaging you after that and said, I've just listened to that episode. You need to get a podcast going. I could listen to it all day. And when you started doing bits with Sky, with BJ and stuff, and the heat check and things like that, I said, we need more of you and BJ. Like, this is, I could literally, I'm blowing smoke, I don't even care.
No.
I could listen to you two talk all day, every day. And there's something about BJ's tone as well. It's just, I don't know, I could listen to you guys all day.
You know what it is? It's like, it's the dynamic, because he's like the OG. He's been around, he's seen it all. And I'm like the young hotshot who's just excited about everything, always on 100, always hot takes. And then the OG's got to kind of calm me down a little bit. I think the dynamic works really well. A lot of people do podcasts and it's with people who are just like them. So everything's kind of the same tone, the same opinions. Whereas I'll be completely going off. I don't know if you heard the episode just the other day about when the Lakers won their first game of the season. I'm just going off, ripping into the Lakers. And BJ's there like, calm down. It's a funny dynamic. If your listeners haven't heard it, go check it out. Because obviously BJ is a Chicago legend. And that's what we're here, to talk about the Bulls. And I'm loving everything you're doing, by the way. I want to say this.
I appreciate that, man.
The dedication that you, not just you though, all the fan pages in the UK, because I see a lot of them. UK Bucks, UK Jazz, UK Knicks, UK Heat, all of them. I can list all 30. But the dedication you guys have to this game, staying up at night watching the games. I see you, Jimmy, you set your alarm to wake up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when on the West Coast to watch the games, to put out great content, score graphics. I see it all, and I love the passion for the game, because that's why I do what I do, is to inspire everyone to show their love for the game and grow this game. And so what you guys are doing is so important. So I just want to make sure that everyone listening knows how important what you guys do are as well. So big up yourselves as well.
I appreciate that, man. I just got to go back 40 seconds because you mentioned Knicks and I just didn't do a boo. So boo, you've always got to drop a boo with me. But it's crazy. Like you say, like people keep saying this like to me about working hard and stuff. And I genuinely don't believe I work that hard on it. I do a little bit. It keeps me busy. It keeps my mind.
Because you love it. When you love it, it's not work.
This is it. Yeah, this is it, man. But I look at what other people, like what Dan Healy's doing with the Heat page, the Miami Heat UK page is incredible. Like, that man must never sleep. I say that all the time. But I don't feel like I work that hard on it. But I appreciate you saying that anyway. But I genuinely do love doing this. And it's made me meet so many people as well. So I actually messaged you the other day. I was up editing one of these podcasts and it got to about 2 o'clock in the morning and I nearly called it a day. And I remember when you used to say about you just don't sleep when you're trying to work hard, don't sleep. And that got me through. It's crazy. Just that got me through.
How can I sleep when the world is still sleeping on me? That's what I tell myself.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But anyway, let's get this going, brother.
Let's get into it. Right, let's just... I could talk to you for ages, but I'm conscious of your time. I know you've got a busy night ahead of you. So we're going to keep things quite short and sweet. So let's just start. Before the season started this year, what was your expectations for our Chicago Bulls? I say our Chicago Bulls. In case you don't know, Mo is a massive Celtics fan. So when I say our Chicago Bulls, I'm talking about me and the Bulls Nation, not about me and Mo. Let's just get that straight.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't have a lot of expectations for this team. I had a lot of expectations for them last season.
You did.
But after the injury suffered, it really tempered my expectations. And then all summer long, I was talking to people around the league. I was hearing things. So they're saying Lonzo might not be coming back at all. So for me, my expectations gone way down from what I expect, because you've got DeMar, who's another year older, as great as he played last season. You've got Zach, who's just had the big contract. And we know there are some players in this league, I'm not saying Zach, but there are some players that after they have a big payday, their performance isn't quite what it was.
Yep.
And also the fact that he's dealing with injuries. And if I'm not mistaken, he's coming off surgery or something. So he's been dealing with that. And then you have other players coming back from injury. You have a couple young players trying to get integrated. And And then you have obviously Vucevic, who's in the final year. So there may be some, is he staying? Is he going? Is he on the trade block? So my expectations for this team, for the Chicago Bulls this year, I really looked at them like as a 500 team. I think the Eastern Conference has got better. I think there are some great teams in the East. So for me, I thought if the Bulls can finish the season 500 or just slightly above, that's a good year for them.
I think that's fair. I mean, what are you saying? Playing?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, between the 6th and the 10th sort of seed area.
Yeah. Anyway, because it's like the Eastern Conference is always so close. Only a couple games determine who's there and who's there. But when you look at like the Cavs, the Bucks, Celtics, well, I would say the Sixers and the Nets, because that's what I was thinking before the season, but they've been dumpster fires. But, you know, the Miami Heat are always strong. So there's already 6 teams that are kind of there or thereabouts. So I did have the Bulls as a play-in squad.
I think that's fair to have. I can't understand these so-called experts that had them outside of playing contention. I didn't get that at all.
No.
I mean, I agree with you. I think Lonzo Ball, if Lonzo Ball is healthy for the entire season, it's a completely different story. You're talking probably top 6, in my opinion, maybe.
Easily.
I don't know.
So Lonzo is your best defender. I know Caruso's a good defender, great defender, but Lonzo is the best defender on your roster.
We love Caruso.
And he's also, though, your best 3-point shooter.
Yes.
In terms of catch and shoot threes.
Yeah.
Because the way, when he was coming out of New Orleans, the way Lonzo had fixed the jump shot was crazy, right? And last season, when he was healthy, were you guys not the number 1 seed up until he got injured? Or you were like top 2, top 3?
We were number 1. We were sort of jockeying between 1 and 3. We were top for a lot of the season. I think about like 2/3 of the season we spent at the top. But that was even after Lonzo got injured. It all went downhill after the All-Star break.
Well, after Lonzo got injured, you guys went below 500. So it was, I think it was 19 and 23 after Lonzo's injury. So you can see the impact that he has on a team, especially that point of attack defense. But you got Caruso there, and I really like Io, who's growing. But of course, Lonzo Ball is one of the best. We're talking about 3 and D right now in the league. If he's fully healthy, he's right up there with the best of them.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know if you remember years and years and years ago, before Lonzo got drafted, I made a video saying that Lonzo could one day become the defensive player of the year because of what I had seen in his game before he even came into the NBA. So when I seen him get to Chicago and he's knocking down on D and they got a number 1 seed and they're playing really well, I was so excited. And then, of course, the injury happened. And you had quite a few injuries last season. I kind of sent you guys spiraling a little bit. But, you know, it's part of the game. It is part of the game. It was a very interesting offseason for you guys when I talk about acquiring Lonzo, DeMar, Caruso, because you needed to show Zach LaVine that you wanted to compete. And you got those pieces. And now you were a squad that's competing. You're the top of the East, et cetera, et cetera. But with the injuries, you're kind of left in the purgatory of being good, but not great to challenge, you know, the top tier teams, but also not being bad enough to fall out of the playoffs and get a lottery pick, which you guys have traded anyway for Vucevic. But so it's kind of put you in a sticky position. So I'll just, you know, best thoughts and prayers with Lonzo Ball to try to get back healthy.
For me, I've said it all along. He's our most important player. Not necessarily our best, but our most important for us to succeed. And I'll always stand by that. Hopefully, he will be back this season, but who knows, man? Who knows?
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed.
I've got to shout Mo out as well, because last off-season, not this one, just gone, the one before last year, when we acquired DeMar DeRozan, Mo was one of very few people in the media.
I thought I was the only one.
Well, probably the only one in the entire NBA media that actually backed DeMar to be a success in Chicago. And well,
you know what it is, Jimmy?
Bang on, man.
A lot of these guys, a lot of these experts, they just don't watch the games. They just want to get off their hot takes and get their retweets and get their YouTube clips. We need to bring back people who watch the games. You know what I'm saying? So I know you watch all the Bulls games, so salute to you, but here's what it is. Basketball is quite a simple sport when you really get to it. Obviously, some takes are wrong, some takes are right. But DeMar DeRozan being in this situation, obviously there was that, can he work with Zach LaVine, can he not? But it is, as you're seeing it now, some nights Zach takes on a lot of scoring loads, some nights it's DeMar. It's a luxury to have. It's like Tatum and Brown in Boston. Everyone's saying they can't work together. Well, actually, they can. So
absolutely they can. Absolutely they can. No, shout out for you to that. That was like I said, we all Bulls fans keep bringing up Bleacher Report and stuff for their terrible take on it being the worst pick up of the off season.
They just need to listen to the Hoop Genius podcast. That's all they need to know.
There we go. Go out and listen. Another great pickup, which this season, or two, they were quite, at the time, probably underwhelming to a lot of Bulls fans. But Dragic and Drummond, they obviously Drummond's been injured for the last couple of games, but just the chemistry that those two have alone. And Drummond's getting the boards. He always will. It's his whole career he's got boards, and that's what we needed: someone to get them boards, especially in late game situations. So, but I am surprised how good Dragic has been.
Dragic is a pro's pro. You know, he's a veteran player. There was times where he was challenging for all-star spots in his career. I think he got most improved. You know, he's been around and he knows what his role is on his squad. It's a clearly defined role, especially coming out of the chaos that was Brooklyn last year. The thing that stood out to me is his three-point shooting, because that's what you guys lacked so much in the playoffs last season. Three-point shooting he's shooting over 50% from three.
Yeah, I don't know what his actual for. Yeah, he's got to be. Yeah.
He's shooting over 50% from three. I don't think, like, when I've been watching the games, I barely remember him missing shots. So he must be somewhere around 50%. And then I was reading earlier, someone tweeted out, like, the Bulls are like plus 11 or 12 points when he's on the court per 100 possessions. When he's off, it's a negative. So shout out to Dragic. That's really who's impressed me the most. Obviously, DeMar's impressive. And Zach LaVine, what he did last night against Brooklyn in that fourth quarter was extremely impressive. Man. But when we talk about the NBA, it's always about the hidden gems. Where can you get the found gold? You know, the unexpected contributions. Like for the Celtics last year, it was Grant Williams. It was Rob Williams. It's all about those role players that can step up and make a difference. Andre Drummond, I'm not going to speak on Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond makes me laugh. That's what I'm going to say respectfully. Andre Drummond makes me laugh. Some of his rebounds, okay. I mean, if I miss a layup and rebound it myself, I miss a layup again and rebound it myself again, I've got 2 or 3 rebounds and 1 field goal. But that's besides the point. It's been a running joke with my audience for a number of years.
I get it, man. I understand it. But from a Bulls perspective, we've watched this team for far too long miss quite simple rebounds, just not go for them.
Well, should I tell you what was crazy? Should I tell you what was really crazy? Was you guys going out and getting Tristan Thompson last year.
Oh, man.
As if that was going to help anything, okay? But I think the
I was hoping we weren't going to talk about
it. Well, for me, the flaw in your team, it's a double-edged sword, okay? Because what Vucevic offers on offense, he can pick and pop, he can shoot the 3 ball on the outside, and if you need to, you can dump it to him down low for a bucket, right? And having a player like that is essential, especially when you have the king of the mid-range in DeMar and Zach LaVine, who's really getting nice with the middies as well. When you have those guys, you need a floor spacing big. However, on the other side of the court, he is a liability on the defensive side. And I'll say that with respect, but he's not offering the level of rim protection, especially when you guys go up against Giannis. To get through the easy conference, you got to face Giannis, right? You got to face a Giannis. You got to face a Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. You got to face Embiid. And with all due respect to Vucci Main, I know you don't like the nickname, but I call him it anyway. He's not the guy defensively that you need to really put together a conference finals team, in my opinion. So that's my whole dilemma with the Bulls, because you needed him to convince Zach that you were going to compete. So you traded your picks and young players for him. But really and truly, when you look at how Wendell Carter Jr. is playing now for Orlando, you do kind of look at it and say, kind of wish that we didn't do that a little bit.
I still make that trade 100 times out of 100.
Okay.
I'm on Vooch Island, man. I'm a big Vooch stan.
You got real estate on Vooch Island.
Yeah, man. I love the man. I love him when I love it when we got him. He didn't have a good season last year. You can't hide away from that. But I backed him to come back this year with an all-star type. I'm not saying he will be an all-star, but an all-star type season, like we know he can do. He's played pretty well so far. In fact, he's played brilliantly so far this season.
He has to, because it's the final year of his contract. So
yeah, I get
he's trying to get that payday. I mean, after this year as well, DeMar DeRozan's only got 1 year left. So I think for you guys, this has to be like a all or nothing kind of season, because if you guys can't compete with DeMar, he's 33 now, and he's going to get older and older. He may even leave the team. Vooch, free agency, a team might throw him an offer that you guys don't want to match, because historically, or since the 2000s, you guys haven't really spent a ton of money in terms of your ownership group. You got to make it work, because otherwise you're going to be left with Zach LaVine on the Supermax and then some young players, and then all conversation shifts to, shall we trade Zach LaVine and rebuild the squad, rather than what can we put around Zach LaVine. So this season, in my opinion, is crucial for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like I'm ruining your evening. I'm so sorry.
No, listen, we're talking facts. When I'm a passionate man, you know that, but I like to think I'm also quite realistic. Like the Bulls aren't winning the championship; they're just not. That's, you know, unless the whole league goes down with injuries or something, the Bulls aren't winning a title anytime soon. I just want a nice playoff run, man. Last season, that playoff series against the Bucks was brutal. Especially because I had Sean from UK Bucks on my case every game. It was just...
Well, he's got a Bucks tattoo. Do you have a Chicago Bulls tattoo yet?
Do I have a Bulls tattoo? Not yet. Okay, I'm going to shut the door because in case someone downstairs is listening, it's something I've not told anyone this. You're the only person I've told this. It's something I've been thinking about. And these words have not come out of my mouth. I've been doing a lot of research about them.
Is it going to be a Bulls logo? Is it going to be a player? So I don't know if you know, there's a big Bulls super fan, Nad, from the UK, and he has a Derrick Rose tattoo.
He's a big Derrick Rose fan.
Yeah, he's a big Derrick Rose fan. He's got a Derrick Rose tattoo. And when he showed me that, I thought of you, and I thought, is Jimmy going to get an MJ or a Dennis Rodman or a Caruso? I don't know. This is all I need to know.
So I'm glad I didn't get a Larry Markkinen one.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, maybe you could support the Jazz this year and it'd end up being pretty good.
I mean, Larry is now becoming the player that I was telling everyone he would become for however many years. Larry Bird, yeah. No, it is something that I have been thinking about for quite some time. Whether I will or not, I don't know. I'm off to Chicago in December. Maybe I'll get it done while I'm out there. Ooh. Who knows? Maybe I'll just be too scared.
Do you know what would be cool? Do you know what would be really cool? BJ Armstrong.
That would be pretty cool.
Like a number 10 jersey, maybe? I think that would be all across my back. Idea. Yeah, just get a number 10 tattooed on your back. If I was a Bulls fan, do you know what I would do? I'd get the rings. I'd get the rings tattooed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Trouble is, I'd have to keep adding to it, won't I?
No, man. No comment. I know everyone listening to this is a Bulls fan. I'm going to say no comment.
I shouldn't be saying that to a Celtics fan, should I? It's quite embarrassing to be saying that to a Celtics fan.
I would get the Celtics rings tattooed. I ain't got enough space in my body.
There we go. Oh, man. It's crazy. But no, I am off to Chicago in December and I can't wait, man. Finally getting to my first ever Bulls game. So I am so hyped for that. And the guys are looking after me as well, which is amazing. So... And hopefully, fingers crossed in Paris as well. Are you in Paris for the game?
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to, you know, I get around. I'm trying to be there. I'm trying to make things happen. Hopefully, I'll be there because we've got, of course, the Bulls and, of course, the Pistons. So it's only right that we bring Mr. BJ Armstrong to town. He's from Detroit and he played for the Bulls. So,
of course,
hopefully, the dynamic duo is out there in Paris. And hopefully, you guys can get a nice W because I think historically, obviously, the Bulls have ties to Paris, so we'll see. You gonna be out there?
I'm planning on it, man. Yeah, I'm actually going with my other half. So I've got a few things in the pipeline lined up, hopefully as well. I've been chatting to a few different people, so yeah, fingers crossed I can get over there, man. I definitely want to. If all things work out right over here, we've got a few bits going on in January,
fingers crossed for you, my bro.
Fingers crossed, man. Yeah, 100%. And we'll.
I'm sure your partner will love Paris as well.
She's been. I've never been. She has actually been before. So
I'm pretty sure her Paris and shopping and all of this is very different to your Paris of just basketball.
Well, see, this is the mad thing about my other half. She's not into all that shopping stuff. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
you got a keeper there, Jimmy.
I've got a real one.
You got a keeper right there, man.
So, yeah, she's
speaking of rings.
Yeah, she's letting me go to Chicago on my own as well for 9 nights. So
wow.
I still can't quite believe that's happening. I couldn't book it quick enough when she gave me the permission. I couldn't book it quick enough. And then I mentioned Paris, and she's like, "Hang on a minute, something's got to give here." And I said, "No, come on, you've always wanted to go to Paris." She said, "I've been to Paris." I said, "You've not been to Paris. You've not been to Paris with me.
You've not been to Paris with the big dog."
So yeah, hopefully I'll get out there, man. It'll be awesome to get out there. So
yes, sir.
Mo, I was gonna play a little game. Have we got time? Have you got to rush off?
I got a couple minutes. I got
Okay.
a couple minutes because I've got another recording I'll go to.
I know
but
you
I'll put
have,
them on
man.
hold just for you.
I
Jimmy.
do a game where I pick a player, right? And
Yes.
I will name what teams they've played for, and you got to guess the player. Are you up for doing that?
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to shout out Geraint from Orlando Magic UK. I always have to shout him out when we do this because it was him that gave me this idea. So
I'm on a hot seat now.
I've picked 5, but I understand. I appreciate your time, so I'm going to try and just do 2 because I think that would be cool. So okay, let's go. So the first guy, let's pick this guy. So he was drafted by Milwaukee.
Okay.
In 2014. He then joined the Bulls in 2018 only for a year. He then went to the Wizards in 2019 for a short period before going to Atlanta in the same year. Then he went to Sacramento in 2020 and he finally joined you guys in 21-22.
I know who it is.
So,
I think I do. I think because I'm trying to think who was drafted by Milwaukee but played for us last season. Up until you said Celtics, I didn't really know what was going on. Is it Jabari Parker?
Wow. Yes, it is.
Yay!
Well, and I thought that was a hard one. I thought I'm not giving you no easy ones because your knowledge
honestly,
is too
right?
good.
So I was sat here and I'm just staring at the wall and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be so embarrassing that I'm not going to have any clue who he's talking about. And then when you said Celtics, I was like, yes, we're in the money. That
was special. I should have mentioned every player I've picked for you played for the Bulls and the Celtics. So I've tried to make it a bit easy like that. I didn't say that before. My bad. Right,
yeah, and Jabari's from Chicago, so I thought you'd be a fan as well. So
he didn't work out too. It didn't work out too well for him, to be fair. But he was one of them players.
No, he's from Chicago.
He's from Chicago. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just his return to Chicago and the whole childhood thing.
This injuries ruined it, man. The injuries ruined it. It was such a shame because he had so much talent.
100%. So we'll do quickly one more. Again, I've not picked too. I don't think this one's too easy, but you're probably going to smash it. So, where are we? You signed him. He wasn't drafted. He went undrafted. 2015, undrafted. Boston signed him in 2019.
Is it Javonte Green?
Wow. I didn't think that was going to be that easy. I picked Javonte purely because I want to touch on that man. He has been phenomenal for us.
Mm-hmm. He's got bounce. He's a great athlete. Great athlete, great in transition. He was best friends with Jason Tatum while he was here in Boston.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I was kind of sad when he left. I was like, because you want to keep guys comfortable in the team. But no, I think he's really challenged. Like, we expected Patrick Williams to make the leap this year, but it's like, can Patrick Williams even keep his spot over Javonte? So credit to him for putting in the work, especially undrafted and all of that, man. Salute to him.
Well, I put the question out recently, a couple of weeks or about a week or so ago, about who would you pick to start at the 4, Patrick Williams or Javonte? Now, probably last season or in the off-season, you're picking Patrick Williams, probably 90%. But actually, the majority voted for Javonte, which tells you, I don't know if that tells you more about Javonte or more about the way that Patrick Williams has been lately, but we're still holding out a lot of hope for Patrick Williams. It's not quite working out for him yet, but he's still young, so there's still plenty of time.
I'm a big fan.
The potential's there. The potential's there for sure. It's just,
definitely.
Is that potential ever actually going to get to where we want it to be? Let's hope so.
Yes, sir.
Mo, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for so much love and support over the years, man. I appreciate you and appreciate everything you do for the basketball community as well, especially to the guys over at NBA UK fans. I know you got some dealings going on with them. So shout out to Rich, Jin, check the whole crew, Rich, both of the Riches. So shout out to the whole squad.
Yeah.
And Bryn, of course. He's too international for me, though. You know what I'm saying? He's in Dubai. I need to get richer before I can talk about about Bryn. You know what I mean? I need to get my money up before I talk about that.
Bryn's living the yacht life in Dubai.
You know what I mean? Bryn's life goals. I'm trying to get like Bryn. But shout out to the whole squad. Shout out to all the Bulls fans. Shout out to all the Celtics fans. But shout out to the Bulls fans as well. Shout out to you, Jimmy. Keep doing your thing, man. I'm looking forward to hearing more from your podcast, more content. And I can't wait to see you living your best life out in Chicago as well, because I know how excited you are for that.
I am so excited. 5 weeks today till I'm at my first Bulls game, and there are going to be tears at the United Centre that night. I'm telling you, you're going to see a 38-year-old man with a tear down his eye when that intro starts.
I'm going to tell Benny the Bull to bring some tissues for you. Don't worry, I've got your back. Appreciate you, Jimmy.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode as much as I have recording it. One more thing before we go, Mo. Sam Blake messaged me and told me to say hello. So I know he's
Blake.
a big supporter of yours and mine.
Big listener, big supporter, real guy, and an amazing beard. Shout out to Sam Blake.
He has got an incredible beard.
Forget James Harden. That's the best beard in the NBA community right there and then.
Oh, wow. That's some compliment there. So, shout out to you, Sam. But, Mo, thank you, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, we'll be back next week. We'll see how it goes. If not, it'll be the following again. But we'll be back again soon. Keep an eye out for that. Enjoy the games this week. And, stay safe, everyone.